would like just to comment on and to point out a few important things. That is that in the recent days, you people have seen like Pakistani military establishment or the secret agencies has started a controversial negotiation with Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, who are directly involved and who have confessed the brutal killing of innocent Pashtuns in thousands of numbers, and because of their brutality, thousands people have been internally displaced, and they have lost their businesses, their properties, their land. This is very strange that for such like a terrorist, there is always a way open for negotiation and bringing them to the table. But on the other hand, if we see human rights defender, non-violent human rights activist, I would certainly mention our dear friend Mr. Ali Wazir, who is for almost 2 years behind the bars, and he is in prison for not any serious offense, but just making a public speech asking for justice and stopping the brutality and requesting for peace. He is behind the bar for more than 2 years. There is no soft corner for him. There is no offer to him for negotiation or a pardon or bringing him. But on the other hand, those who are involved in gross international violation and those who are declared terrorists, for them there is always sympathy, there is always support for them. You people have seen in recent time our military, our chief of the ISI, ex-chief of ISI, General Faiz Hamid, how he visited Afghanistan, how he celebrated the takeover of these Taliban who are like, it is against international law, it's violation. No country on earth has ever until now recognized them. But unfortunately, Pakistani military establishment, they are glorifying it, they are celebrating it. These are the nexus. So I must urge and request the international community to stop this beast and evil of terrorism cannot be stopped unless and until military establishment of Pakistan specifically are not to stop from this harboring, financing, deploying and nurturing these terrorists. And unfortunately, it's a shame for us that they very proudly admitted that yes, these are our assets, we have nurtured it, we have, these are our heroes. So this is, I think, a shame for them, and it's, I think, worth consideration. Thank you.
Instigating people against the state and the military. And there were 4 cases against him, and in Karachi, all of them, he was bailed out in those. But it turned out yesterday, he was sent to Banu, and he was transferred to Banu police because he has violated the Loudspeaker Act. Loudspeaker Act is, in Pakistan, is something that, you know, you cannot say bad things on loudspeaker, for example, in a mosque or something. And while these mullahs and religious people, the religious leader, they always instigate people to violence through the loudspeaker. Nobody cares. I mean, nobody is arrested for that. But Ali Wazir is now arrested for that. So this is a new thing. This is a new. So there are always some type of FIRs and cases they bring. And for example, you know, some of the PTM leaders who were released, they were rearrested from the court in another FIR or something. So it's a clear violation. And also the army, you know, it was reported the army chief, General Bajwa, has asked Bilawal Bhutto, who is now the foreign minister, in a meeting, that if Ali Wazir apologized to him, to General Bajwa, he will be released. I interviewed Ali Wazir when he came to the parliament last time, and I spoke to his wife as well. I did an interview. And both of them, his wife is not a politician, and his wife said, I asked her that if your husband apologized to Bajwa, he will be released. And she said, why? What did my husband do? Like, did he kill somebody from Bajwa's family? Or what? Like, she innocently asked, what's the reason for that he has to apologize? And Ali Wazir also said that why I have to apologize? I have not said anything that I should be apologetic about. And the Pakistan Constitution, Article 19, Fazal Khan is a lawyer, he knows it. Article 19 says that you can express your opinion, it guarantees freedom of speech. So this is, the new thing happening that, if somebody is released in one case, he would be arrested in another.
Unless you wanted to say, make note that he is a public representative. He is an elected member of the National Assembly, and within these 2 years, his whole area, hundreds and thousands of his members of that locality has been deprived of their right to participate in the parliament, in the budget session, because their representative is in the jail. So it's basically a violation of the human rights of those hundreds and thousands of the local people who have elected him. And besides that, one important thing, since I'm a lawyer, I know in Pakistan, under Pakistani law, if a crime for which the punishment is life imprisonment or death penalty, like if you have committed homicide, if you have killed someone, even for that offense, if your trial is not concluded within 2 years, you are entitled for bail. But on the other hand, this is just very petty and minor accusation of just making debates. So this is the thing which is going on. Thank you very much.
I am Nasir Aziz Khan. I belong to Pakistani occupied Kashmir, known as Azad Kashmir. I want to raise one point that from Kotli district, there are more than 80% are gone missing, disappeared since 2002, 3, 4. A report was published on BBC Urdu, but we have been raising this issue here, but there people are still missing. And our friend Fazal Khan, he brought text that Hassanullah Hassan, who was the spokesperson of Taliban, who took responsibility of army public school attacks, he was kept in a safe house and he was allowed to give interview during prime time for 2 to 3 hours. And ultimately they gave him safe passage and now he's in, I think, Turkey or somewhere else. It shows the policy of state that she is protecting these terrorists, and those who are raising their voices for their basic rights, they are facing enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killing, and our solidarity to you and for your loss and victim families. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
In my humble expert opinion, there is hope. But hope requires organization, mobilization. So the movements that are defending human rights, it is your time now. You've already done the hard work, you already have the masses, but play your cards smartly, and you will win. The eventual winners are you. Thank you.
The future and the business is very dark for the region because of the militant groups. They are, being activated, and the ISIS, the Al-Qaeda, the Jaish, and the militants from Central Asia. It's going to be very tough for Afghanistan, and because there is like Chinese investment and Russian interest in Central Asia, so it's not going to be cozy and flowery everything. But as Malay said, I think the PTM and the other organizations, they are working very hard against the flow. So let's see what happens. But for example, in Afghanistan, there is no hope for Afghan people, at least now. So we should keep that in mind. You know, the realities are. Thank you.
I believe I'm very optimistic because at least, and I'm thankful to all human rights defenders who are at least at this point making their agitation, their voice risen. We are at least came out from that status quo which were for almost 40 years. Now we see movement, and I'm hopeful if there was not these movements, there might have been much devastating effects on the area. But I'm hopeful, and together I think we can give tough time to this people who are involved in this terrorism. Thank you very much.
The first and foremost sufferers of this policy of the state or of the military establishment are the innocent people of Pakistan. Whether they live in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in Sindh, in Balochistan, or even in Punjab, it is the elite military establishment and maybe the bureaucracy and the politicians who benefit from this, but the innocent, normal, poor people of Pakistan are as much victims of this as anyone else in the region.
Yeah, firstly, I want to thank you all for participating to this all-important event. And I believe that a journey to a milestone starts with the first step. And I'm very hopeful that this thing will lead to success. It's a process. It don't have to happen immediately. But the more people get aware about the circumstances in Pakistan, people will take action and things will begin to change. So once again, I want to thank you all for participating. And this is an ongoing process. So we'll continue the discussion from one conference to another conference and make more people aware in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.